What's up, everyone? Yes, I did just get a new haircut. Finally, it's been a long time for me, but I did just get a new haircut. Again, it's Travis Eman here with Salerno Realty, aka the Modern Realtor, and we got another video coming at you today about one of the most annoying things as a buyer right now in the Greater Toronto area market. So today we're going to be talking about how to come out on top during a bidding war today in the GTA, the Greater Toronto area. First, let me get a little bit of this juice here. Okay. So quickly, let's just talk about exactly what's going on in the market right now. If you've been paying attention, you know that if you see a house that goes up for sale on Monday, most of the time it's gone within a week. Literally sold really fast. And that's mostly because we are in an extremely hot seller's market right now. And honestly, I don't know how long it's gonna go, but it's been going on for the last few months, and it's just so hard right now to buy a home during this kind of a market. Simply speaking, a seller's market is when there's more buyers than there are houses available. This creates an extremely competitive market, and it leaves buyers all bidding on the same houses just to try and secure something. And honestly, if you're one of my clients or you've been listening to me over the last year, you knew this was going to happen because I've been predicting this all along. Here in the GTA, the prices are great in terms of if you own a house, but a lot of buyers and a lot of people who haven't broke into the market yet are simply waiting for that market crash. So once COVID hit off, everyone was saying that the market was going to crash. People who had plans of selling their homes and buying in last year spring, they said they were going to wait until the market crashed and then they were going to capitalize on the buying side. So once COVID did happen and the lockdown was underway, the market was pretty slow. Prices were holding pretty strong, but the market was slow. There was a lot of houses just sitting on the market, and to be honest, that was the best time to buy if you had the opportunity. You could get potentially a deal at that time, but everyone was just waiting. So there was more houses on the market than there were buyers who were looking for houses, which kind of made the housing activity at least drop. Prices did stay the same, but again, the activity dropped. To be honest, that little window was probably the best time in the last few years, just because the deals were good, not great, but everyone was waiting for the great deals for when the market crashed. This caused everyone to be like, yo, I'm gonna wait until the prices drop. Like, I'm waiting until the prices dropped. And you know what? Months went by and the prices didn't drop. So everyone pretty much came out at the exact same time, creating an extremely competitive market. This led to record-breaking sales in the third and fourth quarter last year, and it's just been going strong ever since. Every single house that comes on the market is getting multiple offers, and usually you don't see houses that are on the market for more than 7 days at this point. So most of the time people are doing these offer dates where they price the house a little bit lower than market value, and then they hold an offer date the following week, usually 5 to 8 days after listing. So they price these houses a little bit lower in hope that a lot of people come through the house and fall in love with it and create multiple offers. Now, this doesn't work every single time, but most of the times you're getting multiple offers, and most of the time the houses end up selling for more than what you thought they were going to sell for in the first place. And to be honest, as a seller, I think it's a super attractive option, because if you are a little bit flexible with your price, you price a little bit lower, you list it on a Tuesday, and then you take offers the following Monday, you have a very short window of showings, and that's it. The house is gone within a week, and most of the time there's no conditions on this offer. It's a firm deal, high deposit, everything is in your favor, and it's just a great option. And even great brokerages like ours, Salerno Realty Inc., we even put our clients in hotels over the weekend so that they're just not even home, so that we can pack as many showings in through that 3-day period. By the time the family comes back on the Monday or the Tuesday, we have multiple offers and that house is sold the following week. I usually try to recommend it as much as I can for my sellers. I did it with my own house. Literally, I priced it what I thought was $30,000 below market value. The house had 32 showings within 2 days, and we got a preemptive offer, and we ended up selling $40,000 more than what we thought we were going to get. So through personal experience, I think it's a great option. But what happens if you're a buyer? It is one of the toughest times to be a buyer right now. Everything that my clients like, it sells fast, and you know what? There's usually a bully offer, and it's really hard right now to be a buyer. Obviously, buying in these situations and buying in these time frames, it's hard to predict, but I'm going to give you a few tips just to help you out on the buyer side if you do ever come into one of these situations where you are on an offer date and you have to enter into a bidding war. The first point that I'm going to say, and it might be one of the most important points, is recognize that the seller has all the power. If you are forced to buy in this type of market, because you know what, if you're going to sell your house right now, it is the best time to sell, but you do have to buy something at the same time. Recognize that the seller has the control in this situation. Plan to be as flexible as possible and be ready to adjust on the fly. Because you know what, it's great to have a plan. Like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. It's the exact same thing in this situation. You might have a plan to, you know, we're gonna stay here, but you know, if you have to budget just a little bit more to get that house, you might have to do it if it is your dream house. Have your agent try to get as much intel as possible. Hopefully you hire us, but have your agent try to get as much intel as possible. Find out what type of price the seller is looking for. Find out what kind of closing date they want. Find out what kind of conditions they don't want on it, and try to base your offer around those criteria for the seller, because remember, they have the power in this. We got to make them happy so that they choose our offer over the other multiples. Number 2, do not pay attention to the listing price. In this market, the listing price is so irrelevant, you have to do your research on the side before you enter into one of these situations. Most of the agents, when listing these houses, including myself, price the house extremely low to try and get as many people in as possible. Have your realtor get a rough estimate based on recent sales in the neighborhood. This should give you a rough estimate of what this house should be going for, and then base your price around those numbers. You might have to go a little bit higher if it is extremely hot bidding war, but at least you know exactly where you're trying to go, because it's worse when you see a house listed for $599 and they're expecting to get $800,000 and you think that you're going to get it with a $599 offer. Have your agent do their homework before you enter in, just so you are well prepared and you're ready to go. Number 3, this one's important, and I mean it could really work, but try to avoid the offer date altogether. All because the listing agent or the listing itself says no offers until X day doesn't mean that they won't look at an offer. I'm telling you right now, if a seller can get their number 1 day into the listing, if everything works out to what they like, they'll take it. If you love a home and you're willing to offer what they're looking for, go ahead. Worst case, they say no and you're in the exact same spot. But if you can give the seller what they want and they don't have to wait the full 7 days, it's a win-win for everyone. Just like the last point, have your agent get as much information as possible. Try to float out some numbers to see if they will jump on a preemptive offer. And if you can, get the deal done before it gets to an offer date. Those things are so unpredictable, and if someone else really loves the house, they might go and offer something stupid just to secure it. So try to avoid it at all costs. Number 4 is extremely important. It happens all the time with these kind of offers, but try not to get emotionally attached. Obviously, that's easier said than done, but you have to understand as a whole, a lot of the times these things aren't going to work out. You might have to enter into 5 or 6 offer dates to get the house of your dreams, but that's why you have to just keep plugging away and move on. Try not to get emotionally attached until something gets accepted. One way to try to avoid getting emotionally attached, though, is if your budget is $900,000, don't go look at offer dates that are listed at $899. It's just, you're gonna be heartbroken. Don't even get emotionally attached to that house. Don't go see it. Have your agent look at recent sales, and if everything in the neighborhood is selling for $1 million plus, don't go look at the house. No house that you see in the future is gonna compare to that one just because they listed really low. So try your best not to get emotionally attached and try to stay within your budget. The next point is extremely important, and you need to understand that you might only have one shot at this. You can't go into these offers thinking that you're going to get a counter offer from the seller. Most of the time when you go in these types of situations, these offer dates, these bidding wars, you need to put your best foot forward and give your best offer right from the jump. Usually the seller, if they are gonna pick 1 to 2 offers that they're gonna move forward with, it's gonna be the best 2, and they're not even gonna pay attention to the other ones. Remember, like the first point, the seller has all the power in this situation, so there's no point in trying to play games. Put your best foot forward, offer your best offer from the start, and hopefully that is enough to secure the home for you on its own. But at the same time, leading into our next point, you need to know your limit. This is hard to do, especially if you get emotionally attached to a house, but try your best to set a budget before you go into an offer date. Even if you offer your best number and you know that, you know what, you might be able to squeeze a little bit more out of it, set a budget and stick to it. Literally stick to it. There's so many situations where the winning offer is way more than the second place offer. And most of the time, a lot of people end up overpaying for these houses, and it takes them years for that house to catch up in appreciation. All because the market is extremely hot doesn't mean that you should extremely overpay for these houses. If you get into a bidding war and the other side just keeps going up, know when to walk away and know when to move on to the next house. And my last point, maybe one of the most important points, is have that deposit check ready. If you can and the seller is okay with it, be waiting outside of the house. It's easier for the seller to come outside and be like, hey, can you do this and that to get you the house? But when you have that deposit check ready and it's right there, it shows that you're serious. If you are outside the house at 9 o'clock at night waiting for them, it shows how serious you are. This isn't always gonna work, but if you are outside and you have the deposit check ready, it'll definitely give you an advantage over the person who has to wait 24 hours to get that deposit check in. Remember, the seller has the power and they want this deal done. So if they can firm up that night, they'll probably lean to your side. And I'm gonna give a little bit of a bonus point. It's a little bit more of a cute point. It's worked before for some of my clients. If you have the time, which you definitely do have the time to do this, write a personal letter to the seller. Obviously, this doesn't work all the time, but you need to realize that, these sellers are people as well. Most of the sellers are parting ways with these homes that they've been living in for more than a decade. And this home is where they raised families, is where a lot of emotional things have happened to them. So the home is truly a part of them. A lot of people have pride of ownership, and knowing that their home is going to someone that they believe will take good care of it, it goes a long way. A personal note could be something that adds to your offer. I'm telling you right now, if two offers are at their complete max and neither side can move up, the offer that has the personal note that is assuring them that they're going to take great care of their house and that they're going to build their family there, the seller will most likely lean towards that one. So it's just a little bonus point that, you don't have to do it and it's not going to work all the time, but it could push you over the edge and it could secure that home of your dreams. All in all, as a buyer, it is a very tough time. It's a tough time to be a buyer right now, but keep calm, hire a great real estate agent that can help you out, and just realize it's a process. Realize that this is still supposed to be an amazing time for you. You are buying a house. It's supposed to be happy. It's supposed to be fun, and just know that it's gonna be all right. You're gonna get the home of your dreams, and just enjoy the process as much as you can. Again, thank you so much for watching. Always punch the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching again, guys. We'll see you in the next video. First, we get a little bit of this juice here. Okay. Have your realtor get a rough estimate